confused.
My name is Frank Cho, and you're listening to Something Super Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And guys, this week we are hosting again my buddy Matt. Matt, say what's up.
Hello, everybody.
So, guys, obviously it's Friday. We've given you guys a little bit of time to digest the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan. I want to give you a heads up right now. This is going to be a spoiler-laden episode, so stop listening right now if you haven't watched all 3 episodes. Also, if you haven't watched all 3 episodes, I feel like you're slacking, and that's your fault. So, guys, get on it. And Mark, let's start with you. Give me some of your thoughts and feelings about the first 3 of what? 6, right? 6 episodes?
Is it 6 or is it 8?
I think
either
either way,
six.
we're
Six.
pretty fucking.
Might-
Yeah, I think it's
it
6.
might be,
We're
but
close to the middle. We are
Yeah.
either at the fucking mid-season or we are fucking close to the middle next week. So either way,
That's
we
just
got a
crazy
lot-
though.
we
If
got
we
a
are
lot to unpack.
mid-season, like
Yeah.
mid-season in 1 week,
yeah, I know
but
it's fucking crazy, but you know what? They dropped
That's
off pretty fucking heavy. So
dude,
thoughts, feelings.
I'm honestly over the moon with this series right now. Like Disney, we all know my opinion on the trilogy that they did of movies that they're slowly kicking themselves in the ass about now.
Yeah.
With people saying Reva is like a terribly written character. Did you watch any of the movies that had Finn in it? Like,
Yeah.
Come on, let's not talk about Finn now.
bro,
So here's
Come
my
on.
only
Finn
gripe.
could have been
My-
so much better.
Homie
could have been.
slaughters his entire platoon. He quits the platoon and then joins the person who murdered his platoon.
It's because he's the
Like-
new force. He's the
Yeah.
force that actually was awoken. It wasn't Rey, it was him.
And that's the thing I'm super like, no one has ever wielded lightsabers in like the canonical Star Wars like universe except for Force wielders.
Right.
So like you hinted at it and then you just dropped off the face of the earth. Like they were like, fuck it, Finn. We don't need to
Yeah.
do anything further with him.
You
Like,
never know. He could be 10, 11, and 12.
Dude, if they
I hope not.
if they
That
don't
Mace Windu.
if they don't have
I'd rather
like-
Mace get his own series than
fuck yeah.
than put him in bring him back and
All right,
put him in movies.
then bring Finn with it. But Finn's got to be a part of it. You can't just tease us with a new possible black fucking Jedi and then have that go right through.
I know. Dude, it's
Well, they're
that's-
retconning like them, all 3 of them movies with all the series that they're doing pretty much. Like they're pretty much just being like, okay, that didn't happen. Let's just kind of like move on. Like we're gonna distract you with younger Luke in the Mandalorian and Leia and Luke in Obi-Wan. We're not gonna reference that other stuff because
No, not
Got
at all.
garbage.
literally there's one we've talked about it before, and I'm gonna go down my rabbit hole now that it opened up. And the only thing they had to change about them movies was just the turns. Make Kylo realize, okay, I need to go back to the light and have him be like a gray Jedi, I guess, or a Jedi. And then you have to give Rey her turn and not have her be related to fucking Emperor Palpatine.
Yep.
That was the stupidest twist I ever heard in my life. Keep Snoke. He was a good villain. They were building him up, and he's actually just a hologram. Like
The whole thing about Snoke is Snoke's supposed to be a clone.
but that's my
awful,
point. Like,
and
run
then-
with that storyline, though. Don't just ditch it and like
But the
with
same thing goes with Anakin. Anakin's technically related to Palpatine as well. So it's that whole messing with
Is he,
the
though?
midichlorians in the beginning and that.
he influenced. But Palpatine influenced the midichlorians, though.
So he's still technically his pappy because he doesn't. Otherwise, it's like Jesus in a way. It's the miraculous birth. You know
Well, that's
I mean?
what it's supposed to mirror. That's what it was supposed to mirror. Like he's the chosen one. He's the supposed to be the savior of everything.
Yeah,
but-
I don't
But-
know. My whole thing, like with the 7, 8, and 9 movies, like the lightsaber battles were just trash. And now you take and when I say the original 3, I mean 4, 5, and 6. When you take the original 3, for the lack of technology they had, like they did really well. And then you get episodes 1, 2, and 3, and holy shit, if those weren't the best fucking lightsaber fights I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
then
literally
you just
Anakin and Obi-Wan
dropped off.
number 1, and then Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon number 2.
God.
Like
Darth Maul is like hands down one of the best lightsaber wielders in the universe. Dude's just a fucking monster. And he introduced the double-sided lightsaber. So that right there, like he's one of my favorite characters. And just the fact that like how he handles himself, obviously he gets cut in half, but like they give him such an arc in the animated series that I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with him essentially dying and then his rebirth.
He needs to come back.
Yeah, dude, I need a Darth Maul series. Like I want him on his home planet, like how he found out he was force sensitive, like the whole. I need his backstory, like from fucking birth, man. I need that.
Honestly, it's his race.
Yeah,
like, and because I mean, technically, everything you just asked for is in Clone Wars.
I know. I want a little
like everything.
I want real people.
Yeah, I want in depth like live action. I don't know. I'm very picky about it, just strictly because. And don't get me wrong, the What If series was awesome, but I thought Doctor Strange was bringing it to life was so much better.
They should do a What If series for. They could definitely do a What If series for Star Wars.
Oh fuck yeah!
Insane.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what?
One turned.
Well, or a good what if question. What if fucking Luke went with Leia's family and Leia went with the other family? Like, what if they flipped?
What if Luke joined Vader?
What if Darth Maul actually picked up Anakin Skywalker off of Tatooine or whatever plane they took him? You know what I mean? What if he actually got to him first?
Or what if you just ran him over like he almost did? Like he legit just like had no regard for anything, just full speed ahead through a 10-year-old. No pod racer is going to save you from that.
So, all right, as we
circling
get on our fucking train.
I was actually going to transition. The one thing I did like that the Obi-Wan series did was in that alley. I was in the alley fight or was in the lab. There's actually a alien in there that's Maul's species, and when Obi-Wan's like hand fighting them, he actually cuts his hand like on his horn, which is awesome to show that like it's not just like decorative, like they're actually like
defensive mechanisms,
lethal. Right? Like,
all right. So Matt, give me your take on episodes 1, 2, and 3. I mean, you can do it all at once. You can break down each episode. I just want to hear like your thoughts and feelings.
I think it's great, to be honest. No, I definitely think it's great. We've been waiting for something like this for a while and all. However, I might be the bad guy here, but I think Obi-Wan is pussy. Like, really, like it's insane. Every time he hears Darth Vader's name, this dude quivers. He just starts shaking. He freezes, and oh god, I don't know what to do. Anakin's around. It's like he really freaks the hell out, and it's like it's not who we think who he is. And then so to see this side of him kind of messes with me a little bit. Like I'm more so rooting for Anakin or Darth Vader more than anything now. So, but.
How'd you guys feel about the Hayden Christensen? Like, I mean, it was a very brief cameo, but I'm sure he's going to have a larger role in it, but like just seeing him in the desert.
I liked it because it was pretty much almost the same scene that from episode 3, like after he kills all the separatists and he just kind of does like the head turn and you see the yellow eyes.
Yeah.
It was pretty much that, just further back. But I love Hayden Christensen. Like I have no problems with him in the prequels at all. I know a lot of people did. Awesome. But like he's an ambitious and emotional person trying to be part of a cult or like an organization that don't allow you to express emotion. And even when he first got brought in, like they weren't going to take him. They're like, he's too old. We can't mold his mind the way we want to. So I love the way he portrayed it there. And I love that like he's carrying the pain over. Now, I kind of agree with you though, Matt, but I also kind of disagree because like I can understand his fear because he didn't find out Anakin was alive until right now. So he's been living under Vader rule for 10 years, not knowing that that's Anakin. And now you find that out, like he was one of the only people that Obi-Wan actually like had feelings for.
Yeah, but it wasn't the only thing. Like he had obviously that the one Padawan that ran up to him who knew who he was just like he left him out in the dust. Like that's 10 years. That was a child at one point. Like you probably knew that he, you know what I mean? And then you can't have his back, and then or just for a little bit, and then he's like, no, you got to go, and then he finds him strung up in town, and then that's supposedly supposed to change him. It took Organa to come to his house for him to actually do something.
But I think that's more so because like he's technically in isolation right now, like Yoda was. So like this is his punishment for everything that happened, for the role he feels he played in the fall of the Jedi. And above all else, his allegiance is to Luke. He promised that he would protect Luke, and now that's going to draw him away with such a heavy Imperial presence in that galaxy now. He didn't want to pretty much abandon his pose. So like, and that stays true to the character through Clone Wars.
Might stay true to these Jedi too, because you got to think, like, what's with all these Jedi? Like, oh, we failed. Now I must go live a life of solitude somewhere else in the hills or a mountain or something like that. You got Yoda. Luke did it in the last series of films. Like, he never left that place. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's part of like the Jedi code. You know, that's, you know,
when Luke was the same thing. He failed not to cut you off, Steve, but failing Kylo.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, you look at it like they failed, so this is I have to do this to either, you know, fix myself, or like, this is my punishment. I gotta, you know, take it in stride. But that's the big difference between the Jedi and the Sith. Whereas the Sith are like, all right, we took an ass beating. Let's go regroup, get pissed off, and we're going back tenfold. Whereas like there are a bunch of Jedi in this world, and they've proven that, like, oh, you know, all these Jedi have come through here, all these Jedi exist. And now it's like, okay, well, if y'all just fucking got together, you might stand a fucking chance. Yeah, but everyone's running and doing their own thing. I do have a question for you guys though. So how did you feel? Now this is another guy. He's one, you know, we're one notch away from the Disney trifecta. Our fake Jedi.
Oh, our Eternal.
Yes, from the Eternals.
There was actually another cameo too. I don't know if you caught, but I'll come back to that. Yeah. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers was the guy who kidnapped Leia.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I didn't mind it. Like, I like the fact that like Obi-Wan called him right out. He's like, I don't use magnets, like. But
I thought it was interesting. I really did think so, like, because he played such like a huge role in a Marvel film, I was like, okay, maybe they like made him an honorary Jedi just for, and I was like, nope.
He's playing him. That, like,
exactly,
if you think about it, it's his role, because he's a comedian. So like, like I seen him in Silicon Valley. Like, his role as Ganesh is hilarious.
I love that show.
And the fact that now he's all Diesel now, like, dude was on like the cover of like Men's Health like 2 years ago. Like,
dude, he's a monster.
Went from being a big old fat guy to now he's like, here you go, he's an Eternal, and now he's a Jedi, or a fake Jedi.
But that's the thing. He's now in the Star Wars universe and the Marvel universe. That's why I said he's one. Ming-Na Wen's the only other person I know that's got all three. And now Oscar Isaacs is one away.
Oh man,
dude, there's just so much to the series, like detail wise, that like there's
a ton of detail. There's a lot of Easter eggs too.
I know. Yeah, that's a whole fucking episode in itself. Is like every Easter egg you could fucking pick up in that goddamn series so far is just, it's insane.
So do you guys think Reva is one of them girls from the beginning?
I think she is. I think she was the leader, and I think she might have been either a Padawan that was taught by Anakin, or a Padawan that was taught by Obi-Wan. Like, I feel like she knows either of them personally.
I think she knows Obi-Wan personally. Like, yeah, because that's definitely like you left, and that's that hatred. That's that you left me out here to suffer in these streets for 10 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it took Big Bag Vader. God knows what Vader did to her group. He probably wiped out half her group before she joined or something. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be an episode if that is something.
Yeah, I think we're going to visit back to that initial opening scene with all the kids in the Jedi Temple during Order 66. But it's just something I always wanted. Like, once I saw episode 3, I was like, I want to know more about like Order 66 and like what exactly happened and this and that. And like more, we're like, getting it.
Yeah, that microchip in their head. That like you could see some of that with the Bad Batch, and in that
I
final
love that. They just
final
confirmed
season
Bad
of
Batch 2.
Clones. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're slowly showing it from like all these different perspectives now, and you're like, oh, okay, so like they tie in Bad Batch, they tied it to Rebels. In Clone Wars, they tied it back to Episode 3, and like
Now all the comics are starting to get tied in too with this Obi-Wan series, because if you've seen any of the comics, it's a lot. Some of the stuff is starting to come through. There's a lot of it. Like that's why I'm starting to think like the Snoke logic thing is real and all that other stuff as well.
I'm excited to see where they go with the next couple episodes of this, because again, it's such a short series, but they have a lot of story to tell. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be like a one-off. We're not getting a WandaVision-esque series here where it's like, all right, here's the story. Thanks. We'll catch you later. Like there's so much to the backstory, because obviously between each trilogy, there is X amount of years, and there's like a lot of backstory that you really could tell. And each character has their own journey that they're traveling on. I mean, you see like Ewan McGregor right now, he's young, but by the time that Luke's old enough to go out on his own, he's the old man. So like it's
like 9 years later too, like timeline wise.
I know, yeah. Well, this series might actually explain why, because I can see how the man would be stressed the fuck out right now. All right.
Palpatine did age instantly when he fought Mace Windu, so definitely aged like 100 years over in like a second.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know how the midichlorian help you stay young, but Ewan McGregor looks fucking great.
He got hit with the Force lightning. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Vader picked him up after he dragged him through that fire.
Yeah, Vader beat the fucking brakes off of Obi-Wan in that fight, like with one hand.
Yep. It was
bad,
dude.
I think they're tying these Inquisitors' hands in a way.
Yeah.
Like I know they have to extend the show and everything like that, but there ain't no way Reva should have let that ship go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like I could see Obi-Wan and Leia getting onto the ship, but she knew where they were at. Like you supposed to have the Force, girl. Like you couldn't have ripped that door open. Something like the ship where you stood there and watch it go, like come on.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing for her is, and this might be why there's a lot of like backlash on her character, but I can even look over that kind of shit. Like you said, she has the Force. Now she's not like Force Unleashed. She's not Anakin. She doesn't have the power to like pull the ship out of the air, but I completely agree with you. We know a few things about characters that have the Force. You're able to fucking move objects with your hands, and you can jump like the fucking Hulk.
There you go.
So rip the goddamn door off and like just attempt to get up there. I would have been cool with like her failing miserably.
Exactly.
But like try.
Not just to sit there and like, you're gone.
Now, see, I don't think she was playing that. I feel like it's such a personal matter to Anakin that it was probably recon only, and like that's Anakin's catch. Like, you just tell me where he is and I will handle it myself. Like,
I don't know. I think she really wants to. I think she would rather him not necessarily bring him Obi-Wan's head, but like at least bring him alive. I think that's what she wants, is to at least bring him in alive.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But I'm thinking that they're under orders of like, look, do not engage. Because even
she don't listen to orders anyway.
Oh, no, not at all.
She's doing her own thing.
She killed the Grand Inquisitor. I was clapping when that happened. I'm like, I saw this coming. Like, dude, how are you just pissing this girl off more and more and more and more and more and more? Like, you gonna catch a lightsaber through the chest, buddy. Like,
I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead though, because he is in Rebels. So there's no way they can kill him off. But that leads me to a question I have for you guys. Obviously, we've seen episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
Obi-Wan's
alive and Anakin's alive. Well, Vader. Does that draw anything out of the show for you? Because does it feel like the stakes, like for instance, with Obi-Wan for me, he was getting the brakes beat off him, but I'm like, he can't die. Like, there's true. Like, it takes a lot of the suspense out of those fights, because it's like, we know both of them are going to come out okay in the end of the series.
Sure. I mean, the same thing could be said about Leia. I mean, we know she's currently captured by Reva. We know she's going to be okay.
Right.
But I don't think so. This is different than like Infinity War Endgame. So like Infinity War and Endgame, it was like, all right, are they going to bring everyone back? Are they going to bring no one back? Who's coming back? Who's going to die? You know, what's going to happen? This, I think more for me, I know the story. This is just giving me how we got from point A to point B. This is the journey. And it's going to give you a little bit more of an in-depth idea of like, okay, Vader. So honestly, between here and 4, 5, and 6, I feel like Vader got soft somewhere in there. This dude walked down the street and to fucking pull Obi-Wan out of hiding was just breaking people's necks.
That was great though. He yanked home right out the window. Like,
and I was like,
he was sitting in
holy
his
shit.
dining room. He picked him right up out of the window. Like, that was
like
great.
Vader,
he drugged the one chick like 2 houses down with the force. Didn't even grab her like physically, just grabbed her with the force and just drug her down the street.
But I think that's what Vader wanted, because he knew, even though he knew Obi-Wan was there, he knew that would bring Obi-Wan out.
Exactly.
So, like, let me just start snapping random necks around here.
But like, I mean, look back, we'll cut back to 4, 5, and 6. Like, don't get me wrong, Vader's a bad dude. Like, he's cut his own fucking son's hand off. Like, he's obviously not anyone to be fucked with. But he wasn't walking around just like snap.
Because he was old Vader though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So this is younger Anakin. He's 10 years older at this point from where he was in the original trilogy, but like, he's still fucking furious.
Oh, he's definitely pissed because he still hasn't killed Obi-Wan yet. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
So, and that's he's there. He's like fucking up at 11 right now. He's killing motherfuckers, and I love it because he's like, all right, we finally drew someone out of hiding. This is the guy I've been looking for. I'm gonna go fucking finish this now. And he goes down, and this is what he's about to do. I honestly didn't know what to expect when they were on the planet, and like the mining planet, and the Inquisitors were there, and I was like, okay, the Inquisitors are going to try to like flush them out. They're going to try to get out. Something's going to happen. Obviously, they're not just going to go straight back to Alderaan. But the second you heard that breathing, I was like, oh yes, yeah.
Oh, I knew Vader was there as soon as Obi-Wan started getting scared again. As soon as he turned around, looked, you knew Vader was around.
Yeah, and that's
felt that energy from a mile away.
And that's the big thing. Like, they were so close that they can just sense each other. It's like the that like Rey Kylo Ren sort of mind melt thing.
Same thing with Vader or Anakin, and then the Ahsoka one too. Like, I was watching the Clone Wars final season the other day, and they had that whole connection too. And
absolutely, and I'm excited for that. Like, give me an Ahsoka series with just break that whole fucking thing down. Like, how she
let her go find all the other gray Jedis and everything. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Well, Hayden Christensen is supposed to appear in that too. Now they haven't announced what kind of role, if it's Vader, Anakin, or if it's flashbacks to.
I mean, I would be cool with both.
Same. Yeah, because you got to think. I love how James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader, but like, you still technically, you're not watching Hayden Christensen, and if you are, you're looking at a toasted Hayden Christensen. Like, he ain't got hair. He's not the Anakin that we know. He's technically Darth Vader. He's already been through the fire,
right?
So if you go back in time in a way, maybe you see. I don't even think you can, because we already been through it. I think you have to have torched Vader from now on, unless you do a what if series, like if he actually jumps over Obi-Wan and then kicks him in the fire. Yeah,
I mean, there's a whole litany of shit that like you could literally break down for the next millennia of fucking what if Star Wars stuff, because any singular decision could have changed any outcome.
And Steve, don't forget too, though, with you saying like Vader got soft, he did choke a dude through Skype.
Oh no! Listen, I'm not
like,
saying he
like straight over a Skype message. He just force choked and was like, "All right,
I'm not saying he's like. I'm not saying he's a pushover. I'm just saying like now versus then, it is a fucking night and day. Like I said, he was walking down the street, like he didn't know these people. They didn't wrong him. The reason he choked a dude over a fucking holocron comm fucking shit is because he like failed him. This was like, I'm just eating dinner with my wife right now. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting ripped out of the fucking cheese. Oh, God, I'm dead. And like, she watched him get murdered in the streets.
He killed the kid, too.
He's just fucking...
He's like, killed a lot of children.
He has killed a lot of children.
No, I'm saying the guy he put out the window, he killed the daughter or whatever that was sitting by the fire, too, because the mom's like sitting right there, and they show her in the background, like hugging both of them. I'm like, dude, but yeah, no, he's ruthless right now.
He's dark.
I'm for it.
That's what I'll never understand about the whole Jedi Force like and then the light side, like Vader literally killed all those kids. Kylo killed all those kids. All these bad Siths, and then all of a sudden they do one good thing, and then they're like, all right, guys, you get to go to heaven now. Like, you just killed 200 kids 20 minutes ago. What are you doing?
For me, it's because it's more of like a mentality type of a thing. So like the Sith are fueled by like rage and hatred. So once you let go of that, it lets you kind of like open up. But I agree with you. Like, I don't think it forgives you for like, you know, the Child Slayer 6,000 that everybody's fighting over in.
Yeah, don't worry. I just slayed who was it? Lego Star Wars made fun of that. They're like, who's he? Anakin Skywalker. Aren't you Darth Vader? Yeah. He's a Force ghost because Anakin's dead.
Oh, man, just kill all them kids. It's just like, yeah, what are you doing?
I was kind of, and I hate to say it, like, all right, so one of the most emotional parts of this series so far was episode 1's opening, where they like gave you the flashback.
Oh yeah,
to the older series. Like, that was huge, and I hate to say it, like, this is how fucked up I am. I wanted to see Anakin kill the younglings.
Just get the extended cut.
Yeah, like,
that's the Skywalker. What's going on?
Nah, like, I want to see him like walking through motherfuckers. Like, that's it. Nothing crazy.
You want to go? Who are the people that killed his parents, and he went and killed all them dudes too? And
the tribe of Tuscans.
Yeah, like, oh man,
not just
I went and watched those over again, and I was like,
but the women and the children.
Yeah,
I slaughtered them.
I killed them all.
Yeah, tell me how Padme's a trooper. Like, homie just admitted to like pretty much genocide, and she's like, I'm still gonna have your kids.
That's because she was terrified her damn self.
That's true. All that, I mean, you know, that's a toxic, abusive relationship. She doesn't know anything else. She was a fucking princess and a queen and shit.
And then this thug comes rolling in.
They just race the shit out of her.
That's Aladdin all over again.
Oh man. So what's up with Obi-Wan and his blaster? It was giving me John Wick vibes. Like, he was just
I think he's trying so hard to not use the lightsaber, to not draw attention, because like, obviously they're looking for a Jedi, but right. B, I think, and Anakin even said it, like, or Vader, I guess, even said it. He's like, you got weak in your old age.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I can't ride a bike anymore, but like, I couldn't ride a bike with the same mentality that I did 15 years ago when I was like actively riding a bike regularly. Like, I'm not saying I'm bad at it, but I'm definitely not good. You know, so you take something that is 110% skill based, and he's good with it, but like, even the Force, he's rusty as fuck. He almost let Leia fall to her death.
I mean, we knew that wasn't going to happen because it's like, you know the story, but man, she came close. She was pissing me off too. Little Leia was pissing me off.
Can we talk about that chase scene, which, like, I felt like he was chasing a cat. Like, it was just like,
he couldn't catch her.
Yeah, it was like he was essentially like walking. She was running. I mean, he's, you know, twice her size, so one of his steps is two of hers. So he's kind of like fast walking after her, like, oh, I'm gonna get up. Nope, you're over here now. Okay, I don't know where you're at. And I was like, come on, man, just fucking catch her. Are you kidding me? You can't catch a small child.
Oh man, I knew that Force was gonna have to come though, but that was just, she fell right off of that roof, and I'm like.
Now, so here's the thing. I wasn't sure if it was going to be him or like if Reva caught her just to, you know, take her back and leverage her. I was really like, okay, here we go. Like, we're doing something here. But yeah, he's good with a fucking blaster. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's definitely on some John Wick. And they deal with that Imperial guy, Frick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this show so far has knocked it straight out of the park. Like, do I have?
I was really hoping he was a good guy too. Like, he was so nice and charming. I like just have a conversation. I'm like, dude, tell me like he actually is like kind of like what's his face, Bill Burr in The Mandalorian. How like he was a stormtrooper, but now he's like a good guy, kind of. or he was a smuggler or whatever.
I
And now
forgot
he's like
Bill
a
Burr
good
was the
guy.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's the
But-
Boston, the Boston planet.
But no, like I agree. Like I kind of like Leia's attitude though in the show because like it keeps up with like her in the later movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when Obi-Wan's like, now remember, you're my daughter. She's like, granddaughter. She's like, what did you just say? Like, he's like, I know now. I get why Anakin did what he did to the younglings.
Yeah, right. Dude, I honestly I like it. I like how she's very aware that she doesn't belong, with the Organas, but she also is kind of like, I'm gonna fucking forge my own path. Like, she's out in the woods every day running from her fucking parents and shit. I'm a huge fan of the fact that they brought back the original cast for that. I mean, we're talking, this is
Good old Jimmy Smits.
fucking how fucking long has it been since those movies? Almost 20 years.
Almost.
They look good.
That's because Jimmy had that role in Sons of Anarchy for all those years, a couple of years ago.
Dude, yeah, and it's like all of these people came in, they all look decent, comparatively for 20 years ago. They look pretty much the same.
Definitely.
I mean, it's probably a little Hollywood magic too, but fucking, it looks
The
awesome.
makeup's incredible. Look, you got James Earl Jones. He's 91, still doing the voice of Darth Vader. God bless him.
Speaking of, here you go. Here's a fun fact. You know who James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader. Do you know who played Darth Vader?
What, back in the day? No.
Yeah. That's because he was never credited. The man that was in the Vader suit was never credited in any of the movies.
Poor guy.
Right?
Could you imagine that? For decades being the most like prolific villain in movie history.
Literally.
And
Like,
you weren't even credited.
you were just the body. Like you
Yeah.
walked all menacing, just
And that's exactly what it was. Like he fought Lucasfilms for fucking, I don't even know his name off the top of my head. I just know there was like a documentary done about the Star Wars movies, and he spoke up about it. And he was like, yeah, like I was Darth Vader. Dude's like 6'7".
That's funny.
Huge.
I met
he
the
was like,
guy.
"Yep."
I met the guy as a child. He played R2D2, the guy who was inside R2D2.
Oh, that's
at
fucking
Comic
awesome.
Con. Like, yeah, the dude was a little tiny guy, shook his hand and everything, and that
That's
was
great.
some cool stuff back in the day.
I'm curious if they're going to bring any like the major droids into this. Now, obviously, they're not.
We
None
saw
of them are like,
C-3PO.
And R2.
yeah. I'm saying I want to see like if they bring in like to the actual storyline, not just like as background characters.
That's right. We did see R2. R2 was his decoy in the front, that told him that Organa was at the house.
Yeah,
Yeah. That light that popped up. Yeah.
Well, in the scene where you see C-3PO and off to the right in the background, you see R2 with like a couple kids.
Okay. I guess that was another droid. All right, I'm losing it. But yeah, that was some good stuff. Like, so
I love the new whatever the fucking loading droid that they had that when the fucking stormtroopers came in, picked up the hammer. Like, damn, bro. All right.
Yeah, when she
He's
said
ready to
actions
go.
speak louder than words. Like, what if he wants to talk?
Oh, he'll talk. He speaks with that hammer, baby.
Yo.
Dude's
Yeah,
a
but then
monster.
when he left that entrance or whatever, I knew she was going to find it because I was like, damn. Oh, but then she found that she got pissed off when she saw the Jedi logo in there, the Order of the Jedi. She was hot. So you definitely know that's one of
Oh
hers.
yeah, she's fucking pissed.
So-
I want to see. I do want to know her backstory. Like again, we can speculate that she was the young girl in the beginning, and that's probably true. But I want to see where she like fell off of that path and why the Inquisitors hate her so much. Like there's got to be like more to this whole.
What if the Inquisitors are that kids in those group?
Oh, that would be interesting.
That is possible because I mean, majority of the Inquisitors were defected Jedi after Order 66.
Yeah, and I mean, there was also a bunch of cults out there, so they could easily got swooped up there too. But like, I could easily see a couple of them, the kids surviving, or she saw everybody get terminated, and she's like, "Hey, I'm with y'all."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
See, I think that they hate her though because of her ambition. Like,
Oh,
I think that, like because she's very cutthroat and she's like kind of like behind people's backs with stuff. And
Yeah, I
I
can
think
see
that
that.
that's why they're kind of like against her because like they're working as a team, and then she's just kind of like
she's
doing her
like
own
Anakin
thing.
in Clone Wars, and in the
Yeah.
second one, like, you know what I mean? She's literally like him, where she's like everything's super impulsive. Nah, I'm doing it now. This your way doesn't work. I'm doing it my way. Like shit like that.
I think it's funny that you mentioned that, just like the meme that was going around about from Clone Wars, and it's like Obi-Wan's like, all right, I'm gonna be gone. I left you guys instructions. Mine just says Anakin. No. Yeah, apply that to every situation.
But
Yeah, I
what do
mean,
you think
that's
Owen's beef is? My bad.
go ahead. One more time.
I was gonna say, what do you think about Owen's beef with Ben?
So it's very like Harry Potter-esque. So it's, I have my nephew now. I don't want him part of this world.
Right.
Like, I don't want him to even know who his father was. I don't want him to grow up, even knowing who you are, like any connection to the Force whatsoever, because I mean, what are the chances that you find it out on your own? Eventually it might happen, but like it takes training in order for this stuff to like cultivate. So if you don't have any, then there's no Force and there's nothing to really worry about. You don't get a lightsaber. He wants him far away from that.
Yeah, because see, like the only loophole that I've really found so far in this show was in episode 3, they send the kids away because they say Vader would be able to sense them. But he was literally in the same town as Leia and didn't send shit. So either one, he was just solely focused on Obi-Wan, and that was just the only thing that he could concentrate on, or there's just missing details.
I think that's it, because remember, he didn't know he had any kids until they told him.
Yeah, so I was gonna say he might not know who Leia is, one, and two, you're not gonna see what you're not looking for.
Right.
Like, I don't think he's got, and I hate using this reference because it was such a shit movie. He doesn't have like Morbius fucking powers where he can send out a goddamn like bat signal and it comes back and he's like, all right, there's like 10 Force users here in this vicinity.
Well, and that's what I was curious of, is like, because he can clearly tell that it was Obi-Wan. So when you sense 4 other Force wielders, do they have distinct markers that kind of like identify who it is, or is it just kind of like, okay, I can sense a really strong, powerful Force user, so it has to be Obi-Wan?
I mean, I think it might be a little bit of both, but I think there's also a connection to like how close they were best friends.
Right.
It would be like if you got a facial reconstruction surgery and like disappeared, but you still had the same voice, like I'd still know who you were because we're friends and we've known each other for years, but like I might not know what you look like anymore. Oh, you sound really familiar, like this guy that I used to know, something like that. But I think because they were so close throughout the Clone Wars, throughout like the first 3 movies, he literally fucking raised Anakin. He was essentially a father figure to him.
Right.
So I think that's that's part of it, I'm sure. Also, another thing, I don't know how the midichlorians work, if they're like immediately activated the second you're born, but Leia never used any of her powers until the fucking last trilogy.
Oh yeah. Right. Just she was floating through space.
Yeah, she was magically fucking able to pull herself back to the ship. Now I know they reference the fact that like she trained previously on Dagobah, but like that's about it. Like they don't really fucking show too much else. She used the Force once.
Yeah.
So I don't know what, like, she might have such like a minimal power level that it's like, whatever.
I mean, it's
my allergies are kicking
instinct. Up. You know how like your power just kicks in when it's instinct? Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. And that's fucking possible. And for her, it's like, okay, that makes sense.
But I mean, she still died though.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, she died in real life. I think that's the sad part. They couldn't keep.
They killed everybody. They killed Han Solo right off the rip.
I know.
Well, he wanted to leave the Star Wars projects because he didn't want to take away any of the stardom from the new stars, because that was supposed to be like a rebirth. But like they've even admitted that they went into the movies with no plan. I'm like, how are you going to do a trilogy with no plan? Like, if you're doing one movie, okay, I get it. Like, you figure it out as you go along. You did 3 movies with no idea where you were going with it.
Yeah, like, if they do a trilogy now, they got to go all the way back. You got to go.
Yeah,
or all the way forward.
Or
what would get all the way forward though?
Give Ezra. Me a fucking. Yeah, you could do that.
Give us a live action Ezra, and you follow his journey.
I don't know. I'm cool. So, Matt, Mark, and I met one of the authors of the High Republic series. Give me a fucking live action version of that. Give me a live action. Yeah. We got it signed 2 different fucking covers. It's awesome.
Nice.
He's a cool guy. But
See, I wish they would have went with the original plan before Disney bought it out. So what they were going to do is they had a storyboard for 6 movies. So what they were going to do, it was going to be, I think, Rogue One. Then they were going to do episode 7 with whatever it was going to be. Then they were going to break it up with an Obi-Wan movie, which is pretty much what we're getting now.
Yeah.
Then they were going to do episode 8. Then they were going to do a Han Solo movie. Then 9. And then they were going to end it with the story of the original Sith Council.
okay.
And they were going to, and the last one was going to be more like everything from the Sith point of view, going on from like way back up to Palpatine's rule. So like you were going to see how the rule of 2 came about and everything like that. Because originally,
Well, that's what you need to see. A big old Sith war. That would be nice.
yeah, because originally it started out, the council started out, I always forget, it was 10 masters and 10 apprentices, because it says there was originally 10 Sith. So I don't know if that means 10 masters and 10 apprentices or 5 masters and 5 apprentices. But basically it got to the point to where they were all just killing each other. So like, look, this clearly isn't working. There can only be 2.
So here we go. So getting back to the whole rule too. So in the beginning, we knew that it was just Palpatine and Darth Vader, or it was Palpatine and Dooku, or Palpatine and Maul. And now that we see how we have these other Force users, these Inquisitors, what are these Inquisitors? Because obviously they're not Sith, because if they're not the rule too, but
They might fall under like
the
they might fall under like the Ahsoka umbrella, like
the whole gray Jedis or whatever, or
They're kind of like
Jedi.
knights. I think I would equivalent them to like the knights that the Jedis had at like the temple, like guarding the temple stuff.
Yeah,
They weren't
temple guardians.
Jedi. Yeah, so like
So you're
temple
talking about,
guardians
like,
aren't Jedi, but they're force sensitive. They know how to wield the weapons and use.
So it's
the
almost
weapons.
what Kylo was like when because all those Knights of Ren kind of thing. It's all those.
Right.
It's basically those guys again.
Yeah, because I mean, you see in like the Clone Wars, like Maul tries to bring on Savage as an apprentice, and then they try to take out Palpatine, and you find out Vader also has these other apprentices and all.
Oh yeah,
this
yeah.
other
You got
stuff,
Star
like
Killer or Star Legend from the video game.
Star-
and all. He's got
yeah.
Star Killer. So I would love to see that as a series, and I'd also like to see Knights of the Old Republic as a fucking series.
That's what they. Well, I would love to see a Knights of the Republic
Well, they're doing they're
would love to see a
remastering the
Revan.
game, or they remastered the game.
for the Switch though. I don't think they made it yet for the Xbox.
No, so they have the original for the Xbox because I have it. Although, God, like I thought it was such a fucking good game, and I feel like you think about this like for every game that's ever come out, you're like, oh my God, the graphics are so good, and then I played it and I was like, holy shit,
Oh,
this
it's
is
horrible.
fucking garbage.
I was playing the Star Killer game because I wanted to see the story again, and I was just like, oh my God, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible.
I'll tell you what, though, that's The Force Unleashed is probably one of my favorite Star Wars games, strictly for the fact that I can run around and like grab TIE fighters out of the sky with the Force and just throw them at
and
shit.
then crush them.
Yeah, like that's such a fucking cool concept. I'm super excited. Like I want them to have. So what I think would be a fun concept as a game is like an open world Star Wars game, and essentially you get. Well, so I'm going to pitch you an entirely different game here. So open world Star Wars. Now, I don't care if you want to like equate it to fucking World of Warcraft or whatever. Like everyone's got their own character and you can play online with other people and stuff. But you choose your character, what they look like, you know, their name, et cetera, and you basically roll the dice. You're either going to fucking have the
like
Force
a
or
Red
you're
Dead
not.
Redemption in a way, like
Yeah,
how
like
you
Or like Fable.
You're either going to have the Force or you don't.
Like the more good you do in Fable, you get like the wings.
Oh, you're
with the
saying you
halo
have the
and,
Force or
like-
you don't.
Yeah, so like essentially,
So you could end up just being just a random dude just
You-
walking
you could
around
just-
with nothing, eating dinner. Like,
well, no, I mean you could
Well,
be like a
everybody else
bounty
is-
hunter, or you could be like a Han Solo type character, like
That'd be a
or-
Wookiee?
yeah, you could be whatever you want in the universe. But there's Wookiee Jedi,
I know
like,
that. That'd be a
you could be
Wookiee
whatever
shit.
you want in the universe, but your chances of being a Jedi or your chances of being like Force sensitive are 1 in 50, or 1 in 100. Whatever the
See,
case
I
may
like
be.
the idea, but like I kind of just want to know that I'm a Sith right off the rip.
And
You know
I'm
what I
cool
mean?
with. Listen, I get the concept. However, could you imagine a game so heavily laden with fucking lightsabers?
Yeah, they
Like
need it.
everyone would fucking want to be a fucking force wielder. And so I think you'd have like 1 million people in a server, and they're all just like beating the shit out of each other with lightsabers.
Well, that's what Battlefront was. Battlefront 2 was amazing.
But see,
Just for that
Battlefront
reason.
again. If you were good at the game, you got to stay a fucking force wielder. But if you sucked at it, like I did in the beginning, you were essentially a droid or a goddamn stormtrooper.
Yeah, you were grunt. Yeah, or if you went and played the heroes versus villains after a while.
Well, that one's different because
keep
you're
playing.
just the heroes and just the villains. Even that, like that game is so fucking technical.
It was so hard at times. Like
I
dudes
hated
would get really beat up. But
Yeah,
like,
I'd get the fucking
my
shit
thing was
kicked out
like
of me.
I could do the lightsaber battles with everybody else with a lightsaber, but once you start adding all these blasters and shit, I'm like, kid, come on, man, stop shooting me in the back. Like this.
See, I was the exact opposite. If you had a lightsaber, I was probably dead. If you didn't have a lightsaber, there was like a 90% chance you were going to die. But yeah,
I'm always just getting shot in the back, like it's Call of Duty or something like that. It was always the worst.
Oh, that's another thing too. Yeah, about that game. Like, there's just people everywhere. Like, there's no battle strategy. It's just run in a direction and kill people.
Just slice. You're like, come on, man, get me out of here.
Yeah, it's fucking funny.
Yeah, when they were talking in Obi-Wan though, when they were talking about the one droid, like, oh, he's just a loader droid. All I could think back to is like Rick and Morty. What is my purpose? To serve me butter. Is that it? Yes. Oh, like that's all I could think of was like he's a loader droid, like he can't comprehend what you're saying.
So now, as far as his like this droid's character arc, if they let him go after this episode, all right, whatever, that's fine. But I want like Obi-Wan, because he obviously knows how to work on droids. He rebuilt Lola. I want him to like give this droid a personality. Like whatever you got to do to fucking fix this droid and make him a character, like I'd be cool with that.
He takes it so Tika doesn't steal his chips for his house. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
At least if you're gonna steal my stuff, could you clean it? Cleaning costs extra.
Yo, but I had a note here. I forgot about it. It was about Reva. Reva had a line in the first one talking about what she was owed from Obi-Wan.
So maybe she
That's
was
definitely-
his apprentice at some point, or maybe like, you know, he was teaching at the fucking Jedi school, and like
or maybe she felt like he should have did a lot more.
maybe
That too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he kind of did. Like right after the Anakin thing happened, he like stepped down. He was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
just
that's what it
disappeared.
was. Like, and then she, like you said, she was left to fend for herself. And then I'm really excited for next Wednesday's episode. This show's got you, because this week he left you on a complete cliffhanger.
Dude, the worst cliffhanger, man. I'm fucking dying here. I was like, you son of a bitch.
I thought the one girl was dead. Whoever Obi-Wan's new girlfriend supposedly supposed to be. I thought she was going to die when running back through the tunnel. Like I thought she was going to run right into Reva, and I was like, oh, it's a wrap.
So is there multiple tunnels down there?
It has to be, because how did Reva get in front of them and she was still all the way back there, and like, and she was able to kill? Like, come on.
Because see, that was the other thing too. Because I was like, they did the classic, like, I'm running away and now the villain's in front of me trope with like Vader too. And I'm like, how are they just teleporting? Like, how is this happening?
She's got instant transmission.
Yeah, I say I'm gonna give Vader that one. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. So Obi-Wan, for as strong as a fucking force user as he is just like woefully unaware that Vader is just everywhere at once. Like, he had no idea. Vader's must be fucking walking on literal air because he can't fucking hear him. And Vader's like, I know where you are at all times.
You can't hear that giant respirator on his chest as he walks.
Or the fact that the dude's got to weigh like 1,000 fucking pounds because
like you can't hear all
metal.
that clanking around. Like, come on. My man's cape has a certain sound. Like, dude.
I just love this series right now. Like, I'm so happy with it. Like, Book of Boba Fett was good. Mandalorian's good. But like, this is like
so. Book of Boba Fett was just
I was
Mandalorian prequel. Let's just call that what it is, man.
I couldn't do another Mandalorian with the Book of Boba. I couldn't. That's how I got that vibe. I really was like, it's more blasters. Like I'm like, give me lightsabers. I guess that's where I'm at right now.
But I was happy with it because like Boba Fett at that point is like 75 years old. Like
I was also really happy with the fact that he had a cameo in this series already too.
Yep. You think he's Rex right there?
Yes.
You
Yes,
think
I
that's
do.
Rex?
Well, I
So
don't think
Rex
it's
is now
Rex.
homeless. Like that's crazy.
Like I don't think that was Rex, but like it was I can't think of the actor's
Clone.
name.
It was definitely
Morrison?
he was definitely some.
Well, no, he was an ex stormtrooper, but I'm saying that
No,
playing him was
Morrison.
it was him
Oh,
playing.
it was him. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
no, it was
gonna pop
definitely
up in
him.
everything now because
There's a million of them.
Yeah, and they were all defected. Like they just kind of were like, all right, we don't need you anymore. Go live your life.
I would love to see a
committed
live
mass
action
murder and
fucking
now
a live action Clone Wars where it's essentially just like a fucking Eddie Murphy or like a Mike Myers movie where he just plays every character.
Nutty Professor just with stormtroopers.
Like Mike Myers got a movie coming out where he's like 6 of the main characters. Come on,
You
man.
got that Pentravit that's on Netflix where he's literally like 8 people in it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's the thing. All right, you ready? Here's your script. There's 70 scripts. Yeah, you're just gonna be doing all of them.
The table reading's just him.
It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do this. I don't know. Should we? I don't know. Let's follow the orders. Okay, let's
Imagine
go.
how long that would take. Oh my god, that would take forever to
all
record.
right, we'll come back later. Just have fun. Yeah, but I honestly like I'm glad they brought him back because that again, just as far as continuity goes, like that was huge for me. Like, okay, they're not just like one-offing this as whatever. And then another thing, the stormtroopers. So like obviously there's 2 classes of stormtrooper. I don't care what you say, and I don't mean like a heavy gunner class and like a rifleman class. I mean like there's like the lower class and the upper class stormtroopers, like the ones that work on the fucking Death Star that are clean and white, and then there's the dudes that work on the ground that look like they just rolled around in mud for fucking 7 weeks.
I was getting ready to say about the detail and everything. I literally have a note right here. You can't see it, but I literally got a note right there. And I said, why the fuck are these stormtroopers so damn dirty? And it's like, yo, when they jumped on the back of that thing, I'm like, this stormtrooper, he been rolling around in dirt for the last 2 weeks. Like,
Dude,
this is
bad.
the details on this show is incredible.
I love
Like,
it. I'm a huge fan. Honestly, like I love the old stormtrooper look. Like I'm here for it. I'm excited. I want to see what they're gonna do with the rest of the season. They, like I said, they got a lot of story to tell. They really do.
Think we see Liam Neeson at all?
As a Force ghost, I would like to see. Him
Oh
as a
yeah, I'm a Qui-Gon. I'm like,
Yep.
Neeson. I'm thinking Taken all of a sudden.
I mean, it's following the same storyline. Daughter
No,
got
but
kidnapped.
he's got to show up at least because remember, they hinted toward it where
Well,
it
every
said,
episode
Yoda
he-
said he was going to teach him how to talk to his old master through the Force Ghost.
Right, and he's been trying to do it every episode, and we haven't gotten anything.
So he's
yet,
got to
so-
show. He probably shows up.
even
He's going to show up episode 5. Watch. And
Well,
then
even if
he'll
they
be-
pull- like somewhere in there, like the Reva at the end of this episode, they didn't really like show her face, but they heard her voice. So like, even if you just gave me like a Liam Neeson voice cameo.
Nah, I want the whole thing.
I want the whole thing. I'm just saying I don't know,
ponytail
like
and everything.
I don't know if Liam Neeson's again. I'm not saying he's not. I would love it. I'm just saying it's possible he might not. It just I'm not trying to get my expectations too high. I learned that from Doctor Strange.
I mean, we didn't think a lot of people didn't think James Earl Jones was going to do the voice, and then that was a complete surprise. Like that took the internet by storm.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this series though is going to kind of be like Book of Boba Fett, but I think this is one's going to lead into the Ahsoka series.
I'd be cool with
Has
that.
to, but like Disney's got to do something. These 6 episodes, like, because I went back and I looked at it, all their starting shows have 6 episodes. Like I went back and I watched that Moon Knight again. Moon Knight's 6 episodes.
Yep.
I don't want to get into Moon Knight now, but
That was good. I enjoyed
you
it.
liked it.
So I did. Here's why, but and we'll fucking stop on this in a second. But it didn't tie into any other MCU franchise.
That makes sense.
storyline.
Yeah.
That's what one of the big things I liked about it. He's a cool character, and they didn't lean heavy on anyone else. Like he carried that show on his shoulders and his shoulders alone.
All right, yeah, I can see that.
One
Unlike
quick
Punisher and
fan
Venom.
theory though about Moon Knight is that at the very beginning, it was actually Jake Lockley who asked out the chick that worked at the museum, not Mark or
That's fair.
Steven, because neither of them knew about Jake. Steven's not a like meat eater, and Mark was trying to get over what's her name. So so the only person that really could have been was Jake just doing his thing.
That's fair. I also, just out of pure morbid curiosity, I want to know what Jake's Moon Knight costume looks like.
I think his is the third one you see at the end. So you have the regular Moon Knight one, which is just kind of like the mummy wrap with the cape. Then you have Mr. Knight, that's like the suit.
Yeah.
And then you see one where like it's torn and shredded and kind of like really dark. I think that one's Jake's.
Okay. I mean, I'd be cool with that.
I gotta go back and watch it, man, because that was after a while the show got confusing. And
Don't
was
get me
just
wrong.
like,
It was very
What's
much
real,
like,
what's not real, what's
yeah,
actually happening. And
Venom
where
was
and when.
fucking. That's what it felt like. Was that Tom Hardy's conversations with himself?
I like Venom though. Venom
Venom was decent. Let There Be Carnage was questionable.
could have definitely been better, but I liked it. I liked all the little funny banner.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, good old Venom.
All right.
Yeah,
So closing statements here. We went on closing arguments because we all agree the show is fucking phenomenal so far. And then obviously we're gonna touch back and try to do a week by week for the rest of this time. It's just been they dropped real quick, and we were 3 episodes in before we knew it. So final thoughts, gentlemen.
I hope I hope Darth Vader finds a way to torture Obi-Wan every single episode. Like I liked how he dragged him through the fire. So you can bring some pain to Obi-Wan every single episode. I'm with it.
All right. Fair enough. Mark?
I'm very curious to see which direction they go because there's so many that you can go with this. Like you could tie it into the Mando was after episode 6, but you could tie it into the Ahsoka series. Like,
yep.
And she could end up because in Book of Boba Fett, like it's her and Luke that are watching Grogu.
Yeah.
So like, how does she get so buddy with Luke without knowing Luke personally? So I'm wondering if at the end of this series, Obi-Wan kind of goes off to do like his own thing or whatever, and still kind of watch Luke, but maybe she takes more of the responsibility of keeping him safe, or she protects, or he starts protecting Leia, and she starts protecting Luke.
I mean,
and then once they're older, he goes back to help. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say the only flaw in that is that he still lives on fucking Tatooine when Luke's old enough to fucking like go out on his own.
Right. And that's where, because the thing I'm thinking is back to what you were saying though, with maybe she isn't force sensitive, and because when he talks to his uncle, he says when he comes of age, we agreed that I would train him.
Yeah.
So maybe he goes away, realizes Leia isn't force sensitive, so then he goes back, finds out Luke is, and then starts keeping an eye on Luke again.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we are all just speculating as we do on this show. I would love to see any of those things fucking come true, to be 100% honest with you. Matt, I agree with you 110%. I want to see more fighting.
Definitely.
And
more.
Eventually, I want to see Obi-Wan not necessarily overcome, because we know he's not going to like overcome and beat Darth Vader, but like get his fighting level back up to where it was in the original.
Oh
story.
yeah.
Like I want to see that, because it's been 10 years, but like I want to see him kind of like, all right, I got my ass handed to me in this last fight. I need to like get my shit together and like train up again. Give me, a 2-minute montage of him like training with the lightsaber.
With music?
Yeah, the fucking the background that quick clips him, doing jump rope and shit.
Yeah, just all sorts of stuff. Him slicing things. But no, like I want to see, like you said, we're going back up, but definitely I want to see more. Like we've seen lightsaber battles, but like give us real. We're 2022 right now. Like choreography for everything. I'm pretty sure there's dudes on YouTube who make better lightsaber battles that we've seen.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? So like let's get some good fights. Like show me, like give them one where they fight for fucking 5-10 minutes or something, where they just go at it.
Give me that like
Ian. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, do you think we're gonna get an Ian McDermott cameo?
I want to say yes, but also again, I'm not trying to like leave my expectations too high.
I mean, this is if you're gonna put a Sidious like Easter egg, this is where you do it. You don't do it in the freaking shitty ass trilogy that had no direction. Like right here, right now, like be like, yo, Vader, we got bigger shit to deal with right now than your little petty squabble with, like with Obi-Wan. Although I agree with you, Matt, like I feel like Obi-Wan's literally just the punching bag of the Star Wars universe. Like every single, like Darth Maul beats the piss out of him until he kills him. Frickin' Dooku pretty much beats the piss out of him. In Revenge of the Sith, he gets the freaking hanger dropped on him by Dooku, and then he gets his ass beat by Anakin, or not Anakin.
Hey, we
Grievous.
already know he's not the best fighter of all. Of
Yeah,
them.
like Grievous pretty much beats the shit out of him too. Like, which that's my honestly, it's kind of funny. Like that's literally, I think, my favorite attention to detail and like moment in Star Wars is in Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan kicks him and he's like, like it's like, dude, he's a robot. Like you tried to kick him in the shin. What are you doing?
Like, that's why he uses his Jedi mind tricks all the time, so he doesn't have to kick things or use his lightsaber.
I was waiting to see him do that when they were on that transporter, when the stormtroopers kept asking him like about like, oh, like why are you here, like why are you farming? I was waiting for like you're not gonna, because like that was Qui-Gon's thing too, was like doing the mind trick. So that's where I was like, okay, like, but yeah, I'm loving this series though. Like,
oh, definitely.
Give me more lightsaber fights. Give me Obi-Wan just go and put through the ringer. Like
either that or give me a nothing but a lightsaber show. If you guys don't want to take that approach on this one, but like,
so
we're going to have to get one.
Well, have you seen?
I think
Star
Grievous
Wars
going to
Visions?
turn at the end.
Have you guys watched Star Wars Visions?
Yeah,
not yet.
So yeah, it's like an anime version of Star Wars, but like I mean, not all of it's canon, but it's fucking crazy. They're 15-minute long episodes. They're real easy to watch, but like it's a lot of lightsaber fights. It's a lot of like dark shit.
Yep.
They got a whole fucking episode on like the dark side and the Sith.
And that's the thing I love, like with what they're literally just taking the Marvel formula now and just applying it to Star Wars. Like
you can apply it to everything.
They're like, you have this whole universe that we can explore and all these different stories that we can tell.
Like the Andor series is going to be incredible. I think that's going to be like your little thriller. Like, have you guys seen that trailer for Andor? Or
yes.
Yeah. So that's going to be like, I feel like they're going to pull that whole psychological thing where it's the Empire fighting with you, but like it's going to give you more in-depth cameos and talks and tracks, and like, I think it's just gonna be more scandalous in a way,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, cool.
All right, boys. Well, that must be it for this week, guys. So catch us next week when we will be covering episode 4 of Obi Wan Kenobi. Matt, I just want to say thank you so much for stopping in again, man. You are always welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure having you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Last but not least, guys, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Something Super Podcast and on Twitter at SS Podcast 52. You can also stream us on any of your major streaming platforms. Anchor, thank you again so much for hosting us. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
Guys, we'll catch you next week.